Mike Tyson is standing on a rooftop in Brooklyn holding his favorite pigeon when a neighborhood bully walks up, grabs the bird, and rips its head off. What happens in the next 10 seconds doesn't just start a fight. It awakens something inside a scared, chubby kid that will eventually make him the most feared fighter in the world. This is the moment Mike Tyson threw his first punch, and he's never stopped fighting since. Brooklyn, 1976. Summer afternoon, Brownsville neighborhood. If you don't know Brownsville, understand this. It's one of the toughest neighborhoods in New York City. Poverty, crime, violence. Streets where survival isn't guaranteed. Where kids grow up fast or don't grow up at all. Where being weak means being prey. 10-year-old Mike Tyson lives here. But he's not the Mike Tyson you know. Not yet. He's short, chubby, has a high-pitched voice with a terrible lisp. Kids call him Little Fairy Boy because of how he talks. He gets bullied constantly, every day, walking to school, playing outside, existing. Mike doesn't fight back. He runs, hides, tries to make himself invisible, because fighting back means getting hurt worse, means the older kids gang up on you and going home with black eyes, bloody noses, and explaining to your mother what happened. But Mike has one escape, one place where he feels safe, where nobody mocks him, where he's not the fat kid with the lisp. The rooftops. Specifically, the pigeons that live there. Brooklyn rooftops are covered with pigeon coops. Has been for generations. Racing pigeons. Homing pigeons. Birds that people raise, train, race for money. It's a whole culture. Working-class men spending hours with their birds, teaching them, caring for them. Finding peace in something simple and beautiful in a neighborhood that's neither. Mike discovers this world by accident. He's 10 years old, walking home from school, trying to avoid a group of older kids who usually wait for him. He ducks into an alleyway, sees a fire escape, climbs up, keeps climbing, reaches the roof, and there they are. Dozens of pigeons, cooing, flying, landing, beautiful. An older man is up there, feeding them. He looks at Mike. Mike freezes, ready to run, but the man just nods. The man says, "You like birds?" Mike nods. The man smiles. "Come here, I'll show you." That's how it starts. The man's name is Mr. Baranski. He's been raising pigeons for 40 years. Shows Mike how to feed them, how to handle them gently, how to earn their trust. Mike comes back the next day, and the next, and the next. Soon, Mike is spending every afternoon on that roof. Mr. Baranski gives him responsibilities, cleaning the coops, filling water bowls, learning each bird's personality. Mike memorizes all their names, knows which ones are nervous, which ones are bold, which ones like to be held. For the first time in his life, Mike feels useful, important. These birds depend on him. They don't care that he's fat, don't care that he has a lisp, don't care that other kids call him names. They just coo softly when he approaches, land on his shoulders, eat from his hands. Mike develops a favorite, a gray pigeon with white-tipped wings. He names her Julia. She's calm, gentle, always comes to Mike first, sits on his arm while he talks to her. And Mike talks, tells her everything. About school, about bullies, about his mother working multiple jobs, about his father being gone, about feeling alone. Julia just listens, doesn't judge, doesn't leave. The other kids in the neighborhood notice Mike going to the roof, start mocking him for it. Pigeon boy, bird brain. Mike loves his little birds. They make kissing sounds. Laugh. Mike ignores them, lets them say whatever they want, because up on that roof, with Julia and the other birds, he's happy. That's worth the mocking. But Mike's clothes start smelling like the coops, like tar and bird droppings and feathers. His mother complains. Teachers complain. Kids mock him worse. Mike doesn't care. Gets tar on his hands building a new coop section. Doesn't wash it off properly. Goes to school with black stains on his fingers. More ammunition for the bullies. One kid in particular makes it his mission to torture Mike. His name is Gary. 15 years old, big for his age, already has a reputation, already been arrested twice. carries himself like he owns the neighborhood, like everyone should fear him, and most people do. Gary sees Mike as entertainment. Easy target. Fat kid who won't fight back. Perfect for building reputation, for showing other kids what happens when you're weak. Gary trips Mike in hallways, knocks books out of his hands, shoves him into walls, calls him every name he can think of. Mike just takes it, keeps his head down, survives. One afternoon, Mike is on the roof with Julia. It's late summer. The sun is setting. Everything is golden and peaceful. Mike is holding Julia carefully, stroking her feathers, talking to her about his day, telling her about a teacher who was nice to him, about maybe joining the school library, about small hopes. Then he hears footsteps on the fire escape. Heavy footsteps. Mike's stomach drops. He knows those footsteps. Gary. Gary pulls himself onto the roof. Not alone. Has 2 other kids with him, all bigger than Mike, all grinning like they found something amusing. Mike stands up, carefully holding Julia. His heart is pounding. There's nowhere to run. The only exit is the fire escape. Gary is blocking it. Gary says, "Well, well." Pigeon boy and his little girlfriend. The other kids laugh. Mike doesn't say anything, just stands there, holding Julia. She can feel his tension. Starts squirming slightly, making small noises. Gary walks closer. "That your favorite bird?" Mike nods, still not speaking. Hoping Gary will get bored, will leave. Will do whatever he came to do and go. Gary extends his hand. "Let me see it." Mike shakes his head, takes a step back. "No." Gary's smile drops. "What did you say?" Mike's voice is quiet. "She doesn't like strangers." Gary steps closer. "I don't care what she likes. Give me the bird." Mike takes another step back, closer to the edge of the roof. Nowhere else to go. Julia is squirming more now, scared. Mike holds her tighter, trying to calm her, trying to protect her. Gary moves fast, grabs Mike's wrist, twists it. Pain shoots up Mike's arm. He gasps. His grip loosens. Gary snatches Julia right out of his hands. Mike reaches for her. "Give her back." Gary holds Julia up, examining her. The bird is flapping, trying to escape, making distressed sounds. Gary's friends are laughing. Think this is hilarious. Entertainment. They have no idea what's about to happen. Neither does Gary. Mike's voice is shaking. "Please, please give her back. You can hit me, do whatever you want. Just give her back." Gary looks at Mike, sees tears forming, sees genuine fear, not for himself, for the bird. And something in Gary's brain makes a decision, makes the worst decision of his life. Gary smiles. "You want your bird back?" Mike nods desperately. "Yes, please." Gary holds Julia by the body. She's flapping harder now, panicking. Gary says, "Here." Then he grabs Julia's head with his other hand and twists. The sound is small. Quick, a snap. Julia stops moving. Gary throws the lifeless bird at Mike. It hits his chest, falls to the ground. Then Gary wipes his hands, wipes Julia's blood on Mike's shirt, smears it across his face. Gary sneers. "There, now you match your bird." Gary's friends are laughing. High-fiving Gary, one of them shouts, "That was crazy." Another adds, "Did you see his face?" But they're not looking at Mike anymore. They're looking at each other, celebrating. They don't see what's happening to the chubby kid with the lisp. They don't see the switch flip. They don't see 10 years of bullying, fear, pain, and rage condense into a single point. They don't see Mike Tyson being born. Mike looks down at Julia, her body, her head at an angle that's wrong, blood on her feathers. He bends down, picks her up, holds her gently. One last time. His hands are shaking, but not from fear anymore. Mike sets Julia down carefully, stands up, and looks at Gary. Gary is still laughing. "What are you gonna do, pigeon boy? Cry? Go tell?" Mike moves. It's not technique, not training, not skill, just pure rage in physical form. Mike charges, covers the distance between them in 2 steps. Gary sees him coming. Starts to raise his hands. Too slow. Mike crashes into Gary like a truck. Both of them fall. Gary is bigger, stronger, should be able to handle a chubby 10-year-old. But Gary has never felt anything like this. Has never been hit by someone who doesn't care about pain, doesn't care about consequences, doesn't care about anything except destroying the thing in front of him. Mike's fists are swinging, wild, uncontrolled, landing everywhere. Gary's face, chest, arms. Some miss completely, some land perfectly. Gary tries to cover up. Tries to push Mike off. Can't. Mike is making sounds. Guttural, animal, like something primal was unlocked. Gary's friends try to pull Mike off. Grab his arms. His shirt. Mike spins. Throws an elbow. Catches one kid in the mouth. Draws blood. The kid stumbles back. The other kid lets go. Steps away. Hands up. Whoa, whoa, man! Mike turns back to Gary. Gary is trying to get up. Mike pushes him back down. Hits him again. And again. Gary's nose is bleeding. His lip is split. He's trying to talk. Trying to say something. Mike doesn't hear. Doesn't care. Finally, Mike stops. Not because he's tired. Because something in him shifts again. Looks at what he's done. Gary is on the ground. Face bloody. Crying. Actually crying. The big, tough bully is crying. His friends are backing toward the fire escape, looking at Mike like he's dangerous. Like he's someone to fear. Mike looks at his hands. Bloody. Knuckles scraped. Shaking. He looks at Julia's body. Still there on the roof. Still dead. Still gone forever. And something crystallizes in Mike's mind. A realization. A truth. He can fight back. All those years running. Hiding. Taking the abuse. Believing he was weak. Powerless. Wrong. He's not weak. He's been strong this whole time. Just never had a reason to stop being afraid. But now, he has a reason. Had a reason. Julia. Who trusted him. Who depended on him. Who he failed to protect. But he won't fail again. Mike picks up Julia one more time. Walks past Gary. Past his friends. They scatter. Press themselves against the wall. Let him pass. Like Moses parting the Red Sea. Mike climbs down the fire escape. Carefully. Holding Julia. Takes her to the alley. Finds a small cardboard box. Places her inside gently. Buries her behind the building. Under some bricks. Says goodbye. The next day at school, kids have heard. Word spread fast. Mike Tyson beat up Gary. Gary didn't come to school. Too embarrassed. Too hurt. The kids who saw it tell everyone. Describe it like witnessing a demon possession. One kid says, "He went crazy." Another adds, "He didn't stop." A third whispers, "His eyes were different." Kids look at Mike differently now. Give him space in hallways. Don't call him names. Don't mock the lisp. Some kids want to be his friend. Want to be close to the kid who isn't afraid anymore. Mike doesn't trust them. Knows they're just scared. Just following the pack to whoever seems strong. But Mike remembers the feeling, the power, the control. The moment Gary went from predator to prey, remembers how good it felt to not be scared, to make someone else scared instead, to protect something he loved. Even though he failed, even though Julia died, Mike starts going to a local boxing gym. Someone told him if he's going to fight, he should learn how to fight properly. The gym owner sees potential, sees rage that can be channeled. Sees a kid who isn't afraid of getting hit, who actually seems to want to get hit, to prove he can take it, to prove he's tough. That gym owner eventually introduces Mike to a counselor named Bobby Stewart. Stewart introduces Mike to a legendary trainer named Cus D'Amato. Cus looks at 13-year-old Mike, sees something. Cus says quietly, "That's the heavyweight champion of the world." Everyone thinks Cus is crazy, everyone except Mike. Because Mike knows what Cus sees the same thing Gary saw on that rooftop. The switch. The moment a scared kid became something else. Became a fighter. Became dangerous. Years later, Mike Tyson tells this story on his podcast. About Julia. About Gary. About throwing his first punch. Mike says, "My first fight was over a pigeon. Someone killed my bird. I've been fighting ever since. That was love at first fight. People laugh when he says it, think it's a joke. It's not. Every punch Mike threw in his career, every knockout, every victory, every moment of controlled violence in a boxing ring, started on a Brooklyn rooftop with a dead pigeon and a kid who discovered he didn't have to be scared anymore. Gary never bothered Mike again. Moved away from the neighborhood shortly after. Probably never knew he created the most dangerous heavyweight in boxing history. Probably never realized that killing a small bird awakened something that would terrorize the biggest, strongest men in the world. Mike kept pigeons his whole life. When he could have any pet, any hobby, he kept coming back to pigeons, kept rooftop coops, raised hundreds of birds. People asked why. Mike never fully explained, but people who know the story understand. Those birds represent the moment Mike Tyson was born, the moment he stopped being a victim, the moment he learned that defending what you love requires becoming something fierce, something dangerous, something that won't back down. Ever. Who are you defending in your life? What would you fight for? What's worth unleashing everything you have? Because Mike Tyson discovered his answer on a Brooklyn rooftop when he was 10 years old. Discovered that love and violence aren't opposites. Sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes protecting what's gentle requires becoming what's brutal. Julia didn't die for nothing. She died so Mike Tyson could be born, so a scared kid could become a champion, so a victim could become a fighter. That's not justice. That's not fair. But it's true. And Mike has spent his entire life honoring her memory. By never running again. By never letting anyone take what's his without a fight. By becoming the most feared man in boxing, all because someone killed a bird. That's the origin of Iron Mike. Not in a gym, not with cuss. On a rooftop, with a pigeon, and a bully who had no idea what he just created.